Hello everyone, Grady here with the long overdue, long delayed first progress update for the Lite version of Pro Street Revitalised. I started on this back in April and I haven't been able to do anything for ages because I've been needing to get out this progress video. Now this one is entirely about porting sounds so that broken sounds do not, so that normally broken sounds now work, and it's also AI sounds mostly. The sounds that I've ported in the places of sounds that normally don't work, I've already applied those to new cars, so that is the main thing I'll be showing today. Oh, and of course, just use the timestamps in the description to go straight to the sounds, because I'm doing this, no editing, as little effort as necessary. So this first sound is, this is going to be all retro muscle cars, just like normal. They all sound the same when they're upgraded. And this is then the new sound. That's the old, the muscle cars for you. Don't have much handling. You go flying into the walls. Oh yeah, there it goes. That's the corner that's usually difficult with this thing. Yeah, this thing when it's stock handles worse than the retro muscle cars. This thing is just horrible, so don't worry, this thing will be getting its handling fixed at some point. Again, all of the Lite version will be released as a single thing, so by the time I've released it, anything, it'll be done, obviously. Game's starting to run a little slowly. I don't know if that's getting picked up by OBS or if maybe OBS and voice mod working together while the game is running is causing that, but let me get away from the noisy crowd. This upgraded DB9 might sound familiar if you've played Need for Speed World on both the World United Turbo and Overdrive. You'll know that the DB9 and its DBS equivalents use this sound. Now, I wanted to get the Overdrive version specifically, but the way Overdrive does some of its sounds made it so I couldn't get hold of the file. So this is the World United engine sound. Which is why it's kind of not the best quality, being the engine and not the exhaust, but generally on Need for Speed World, you actually hear more of the engine sound than the exhaust. Hang on. Just need to double check something. Right, yeah. Now this DB9 sound is the 177 sound from World United, and it sounds a lot like a Zonda sound, which, as far as I know of, checks out. You definitely could use it as a Zonda sound because Pagani uses Mercedes engines, and I believe Aston Martin does as well. The 177's a V12, so... Also, whenever you see the brakes come on, yeah, that's just the game's auto brake. The terrible auto brake that I haven't gotten rid of yet, even though I've done that before. Of course, that will be part of... Yeah, a lot of, like, the really basic stuff will be in the smaller version of the mod as well. And possibly even some stuff that I don't include in the main version of the mod. Although I don't remember what I was actually thinking of not actually redoing for the main mod, I don't know. But there was one idea where I was like, yeah, I haven't thought of that yet. But maybe I won't do that, you know, full on. Now, I don't really know why I'm showing you the E92 M3. The stock sound hasn't changed yet, and that's because I probably won't change it at all. And the upgraded sound, well, you already know what it is. It's already available with the revitalized blueprints. But just for consistency, I suppose. Because, again, it's a new sound that's going to be included in this release, whenever that may come. And I'm doing the stock and upgraded sounds per car, even if one of them hasn't changed. because, well, this is again just a vanilla sound, no point. Now, this doesn't have, like, the correct engine sound because I ran out of slots, so it's just going to be with the Mustang engine, like the version I've already made available. But in the full version, I've got the Z4 GT3 engine. So now we have the Bugatti Veyron, but the thing is, this one actually has a new sound, not by replacing one that wasn't working. It actually replaces Dodge Viper E, which is the sound file normally used by the Veyron. And I did that because it's just the CCX sound with one different acceleration file. So I've also included sounds that are too similar to other sounds, and that means I've also replaced Prelude, how the fuck you pronounce it, Honda Prelude A, which means the stock sound for like the Silvia and whatnot doesn't work anymore. Now, if you've been keeping up to date with Need for Speed, this sound is familiar to you, possibly, because this is Bentley Continental B from Overdrive, but it appears to have been a port of the Need for Speed Unbound Bugatti sound. Which actually I don't think I've mentioned yet, but I will put this video in a playlist with a bunch of reference material, since I'm not doing any editing, so that you can compare it to the Need for Speed Unbound sound. Now these next sounds are for all V8 Chevrolets, and I'm using the C6 Corvette because I think we all know the engine upgrades use the C2 sounds, so once you apply any engine upgrade you can't get the C6 Stingray's actual sounds anymore. So obviously I've fixed that before and I fixed it here. Not too much point in showing you the stock sounds because it is just C5A. You've heard it before. But again, for consistency's sake, except I'm going to skip the pre-revving bit. Oh, I went into an actual race. Whoops. Shit! I was afraid that was gonna happen. I built and tested the sounds on all the cars to make sure that the game wouldn't crash in the middle of recording, and it did. Okay, yeah, it looks like OBS is capturing it properly. Come on, let me fucking press A. For God's sake! That is the first time it's crashed on me, and it's done it the second time. Like, if you port C6R from World United, it has a tendency to crash about like 5 times before it starts working properly. But yeah, I've not had an issue with any of these sounds yet. But to be fair, even built-in sounds crash the game sometimes. When you use them on a car they're not normally intended to be used on. Yeah, I may cut the crashing sections out. Oh, hang on. Hang on. My muscle memorying. There we go. Seriously? 3 times? I tested these to make sure that the game wasn't going to crash in the middle of recording, and now it's fucking crashing 3 times. Albeit, that was a couple days ago. Just double check. Yep, it's up on OBS. Four times! What is this fucking game doing? Well, that's something to be aware of, I guess. Because this is going to be a problem in the full release as well, where the Z06 Corvette, when upgraded, is likely to crash the game multiple times, like I said, because it uses C6R. That just doesn't work, apparently. But yeah, the game just does not want to let me show this sound. If it crashes again, because that's going to be 5 times, I'm just going to skip it, and I'll keep trying again later, and I'll do this sound. Yeah, separately. Oh, yep, look at that, it crashed. So that's what next? The Lamborghini Murcielago we're going to move on to now. Since the upgraded Chevy V8 does not want to work. So yeah, this rotary sound is it's was United's replacement for RX-7A, and it's fairly similar to the to the RX-7 sound from the newer Need for Speed games. That's why I picked it. Now this one, it's not entirely the same as the RX-7 vanilla stock sound. The engine is RX-8B instead of RX-7B, but yeah, pretty much the same. You'll hear a slight difference in bonnet cam. So yeah, once again, going to skip the free revving section on this one. The McLaren F1 on the PC version of the Super Street infamously has a broken exhaust sound. I wonder which file I must have replaced for this car's exhaust sound. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I gave this thing the matching engine sound as well. Just can't really remember what file I replaced it. I think it might have been Hummer H1 for the engine sound, because it has basically no decel sound. Because the decel file is less than half a second in length, so the game just doesn't really translate it, and yeah, it has basically no playback in game almost. Once again, I forgot to change to the bonnet cam. But yeah, I'm not really hearing the difference, so I dare say I did put in the matching engine sound as well. Yeah, I mean, this was the car that gave me the idea of, because I wasn't going to do any ported sounds for the Lite version of the mod, but then I remembered this thing doesn't have a stock sound because it's using a broken GIN file, not GIN file, TMX file, Although arguably, yes, GIN file, in case you don't know how they work. The TMX files are just a collection of GIN files with the RPMs and whatnot already pre-configured in them. Now for the SL65 sounds, stock is again pretty close to unchanged. I did swap the stock and upgraded sounds when I did the test a couple days ago, because I realized actually I don't think the order that I had them in made sense. So again, this is basically unchanged. It's just got the SL65 engine sound rather than the DB9 engine sound for the stock one. So yeah, as I was just saying before, this sound was originally going to be the upgraded sound, and I'm like, you know, because I'm thinking I like the nice deep sound, but at the same time it sounds muffled, especially in comparison to the sound I went with for the upgraded version. So I was like, yeah, the upgraded one just sounds fairly like a muffled version of the stock one, so I swapped it back. You might be starting to agree with me that this sound is more fitting as the upgraded sound and not the stock sound. Now this sound also replaces a sound that was working, but it was the diesel truck sound, which, I mean, who the hell's ever going to use that? So I gave it a free pass. And the replacement sound is the Pagani Huayra sound from World United, which, yeah, goes back to what I was saying before about Pagani using Mercedes engines. It's a V12 Mercedes with a repurposed V12 Mercedes engine sound. stock Evo 9. Yep, you guessed it. Completely unchanged. Not so true of the Evo 10. And now for the shittest upgraded Evo sound you will ever hear. Yeah, I chose this sound because it's the upgraded Eclipse sound on overdrive. Evo 10C. Minus the engine, it's just the exhaust. upgraded Evo 10. That's right, it's exact... No, not upgraded Evo 10. Stock Evo 10. Yes, it's just the upgraded sound. Literally no difference. Now it's time for the shittest upgraded Evo sound you will ever hear, part 2. This time, overdrive, once again, but this time the upgraded GT86. So yeah, it's not a flat 4, it's not a straight 4, it's a flat 4. Don't come at me because it sounds shit enough that you can't tell. Rio's Evo really loses a lot of character with this sound. But I mean, if you use a car data tool to unlock Rio's Evo, you can always downgrade the engine to get the normal sound for it. Yeah, also, Subaru WRX-8 engine is the sound that replaced Honda Prelude A. So originally this thing didn't have the matching engine sound. But yeah, up next will be the Eclipse, which will have shared sounds with the S13 and the S15, and because this car broke the stock sound of of the vanilla sounds for the S13 and the S15, yeah, that's why those three have had their sounds changed now, even though they're not actually ported sounds. Now, for these three, yes, as you can hear, the stock sound is exactly just the upgraded Hachiroku sound. So, yeah, no need to do the free revving bit. You know the program by now. And obviously I won't show off the S13 and the S15 because I'm actually doing the order of the cars based on just alphabetically by manufacturer and then car name, which is how they appear in the car lot. And that would actually make the three cars that sound the same be back to back to back. So yeah. I'm only just going to show you with the Eclipse, since it's alphabetically first. Conveniently ever so slightly pushed up on the thumbstick to shift there, because for a second there I thought that was an automatic shift, but I'm like, hang on, I'm playing a manual to show off the sounds. Because yeah, I did have my right thumb resting on the thumbstick. This is where things are gonna get fun, because we've got the R34 Nissan. Stock sound is completely unchanged, because I think it's actually rather fitting for a stock RV. But the upgraded sound, it's got energy. Like the Supra whale, when you upgrade the Supra. You got the rivaling Japanese straight sixes, and they're both gonna sound fire when they're upgraded. Now, yeah, of course, the upgraded sound is just like a single turbo sound that, like, you know. But of all of the ones that are available through, you know, World United and Overdrive, I think I picked one of, like, the hardest going sounds. Because some of them are like, yeah, Nissan Skyline C, that's basically just the Crew 1's sound. And then there are some that are pretty much just, you know, Need for Speed Heat. But this one is a little bit different. We've still got the whole bonnet cam lap to wait. Yeah, that's unchanged as well. But it might not remain unchanged. I'm not sure what to do about the stock R35 GTR sounds. Because, I mean, the default one is like, it's nice, but not particularly accurate. So yeah, it'll take some playing around with the sounds that were already in the game. But since the R35 GTR is here, you know what that means. I did port a sound to use as the upgraded sound, which I feel like, you know, both being Nissan V6's, the VQ35, we might want to use the same sound for that when it's upgraded as well. Because the VQ and the VR would sound pretty damn similar when you upgrade them both. But probably not this sound. Yeah, I don't know. Apparently, I think that upgrading a car means it should sound like shit. Because this is not that pleasant of a sound. It's a bit of trombone and it's a bit of insect swarm. You know, the two worst sounds that you want to hear coming from a car. So yeah, one of their thoughts was maybe I replace this sound again to use as a stock sound for the R35 GTRs, and then I go with a VQ or, you know, just similar V6 sound to a VQ for both the 350Z and G35. As well as the R35 GTRs on the upgraded sound. Now, this video is getting quite long, but we are on to our final sound, which is all of the Porsches, because they all sound the same. Now, the exhaust sound that goes with the engine sound that the stock Porsches normally have. Well, the engine sound is actually just the exhaust sound that existed from previous games, and the exhaust sound was the exact same sound except it was missing a decel file. So I've swapped them so that the broken sound is on the engine, and I've replaced it with an actual Porsche engine sound, which is DP6B engine, and so now the stock sound is a bit more realistic, as you'll hear. Again, this is the exact same exhaust, just a tonal difference created by changing the engine sound. So that was the last of the new sounds, but now I need to show you all the AI stuff. And I'm going to start with, you know, an explanation of how the AI stuff works. So you may have noticed before that AI cars only ever use their upgraded sounds in grip mode. So I fixed that, and the other thing I've done is I've made it so that using the same way the game determines what sound to use on the AI cars, I've also made it so that the AI cars will only use the original sounds, except on the S13 and S15, because like I said, that stock sound doesn't exist anymore. Now, there was one thing I found doing this, and that's when an opponent is in the Ford Focus, it actually always uses the upgraded sound no matter what race mode it is. I fixed that. And the way it works is there is a default sound, and if you do not manually equip an engine, like on this, you know, bonus multiplayer, Murcielago, whatever you want to say, it does not actually have an engine equipped, it's just on the default engine. So you will find that sometimes the player sounds will not be working for you. Because as you can hear, that's the normal stock Lamborghini sound. Lamborghini Murcielago A. So yeah, what you do, anytime you buy a car, you just go in and, hang on, not the Corvette, that's not a good example. You go in and you just manually equip the stock engine and that fixes it. Hang on. One of the other things, I'm about to show you how the AI sounds work, and I'm going to use Nitrocide Nevada. If we just look at JP Lawrence Zonda, we can see that it does have all of the maxed out power upgrades, so it should use the upgraded sound. The one AI sound that I have changed is the upgraded Zonda. Hang on. Need to do unlock all things. So we may be able to hear the actual Zonda sound coming from JP Lawrence car. When we do this, but I think Nitrocide Nevada is a good example because you have Paul Trask and Carlos Galliano out the front, and so they normally sound the same because it's a stock Supra, it's stock R34 GTR, but we will actually hear that they're different. So yeah, you could hear there that they were both the normal upgraded sound. Now JP Lawrence was pretty close to the front. I'll play that again because we might have just very faintly heard the Zonda there. I was kind of talking over it. Kinda. It's too short to really be able to tell. That's why I built this RX-7, just in case I would need to try and follow him to get a good example of the sound. Try and hover next to him. Oh yeah, I heard it there. But yeah, there was a couple opportunities there to hear it. And now I'm going to show you just another few examples because the Infineon Challenge Day in, is it this one? Yeah. In Super Promotion is a really good example because you've got the Drift NSX, which has an upgraded engine, which means normally your car sounds slightly different to the opponent's. And then you've also got the drag events where, again, the car is upgraded, so the opponents normally use the stock sound while you use the upgraded sound. Here, I'm going to be able to show you that the opponents are using the normal upgraded sound, meanwhile I'm using the new upgraded sound. Now, of course, I'm going to do this as a separate video, just unmodified, to show you the difference. That's going to be in the playlist, but just have a listen. Okay, looks like I'm going to be on the left, so we'll probably hit the upgraded sound first. Okay, because I was on the left, I was kind of overpowering it, so I'm just going to keep restarting until it gives it. Oh, okay, this one should be good. Yeah, you can hear it. Okay, that's all I have to show you for this first progress update. Thank you for watching, and thank you for being interested in the mod. I will get it to you as soon as I can, but that's probably still quite a long while away.